Welcome.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Zach.
Good. I'm Benicio. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So today we're going to be talking about interpersonal relationships, and so that entails interpersonal conflicts, role transitions, and so yeah, we'll start off with that. So what the interpersonal model is as a whole is that so we see it as relationships that cause feelings and when conflict arises, and so when that happens, negative feelings also t- tag along as well. But when we use nurturing, close, supportive, when we find ourselves in nurturing, close, supportive relationships, we also experience positive feelings on the flip side. So the therapeutic relationship between you and I is very important to where we're gonna find out how you form relationships and how your and what your communication needs are.
Okay.
So as we're talking, I'll give you feedback that you can use to better other relationships in your life outside of therapy.
Okay.
So, tell me about a relationship that you might be in or dealing with.
So I can't. It's my mother-in-law. I've never had. I've always felt like that she doesn't really like me. Every time I have or try to have a conversation with her, it doesn't seem like it can even get going. She's very short with me. I feel like a lot of times she thinks that I'm not good enough for her daughter, even though I've provided better for her daughter than either one of her parents ever have. And I think that a lot of times, my wife just brushes it off because if my wife and I are together, she acts one way towards me, but then if my wife and I are separate, then she's like a completely different person. And I've tried to talk to her about this, but it just usually escalates into an argument and, her walking away and won't even address the conversation. So it's pretty frustrating. And she's, it's to the point where I don't think my wife realizes how much of a problem it is and how much it bothers me. And I would like to make the relationship between myself and my mother-in-law genuinely better. So that it's not an additional stress on my wife when she does come to realize that it's such a problem.
You mentioned earlier that your mother-in-law is very short with you.
Yeah.
And so how does it make you feel when she says that you're not good, you're not good enough for her daughter?
It's I feel okay. So frustrating is the main thing that comes to mind, but also out of that frustration, I feel angry because it's just simply not true. My wife and I get along great. Financially, we're very stable and don't, so it's not like I'm not taking care of her daughter. Her daughter is very happy, and she sees that her daughter is happy. So and this is, I feel like sometimes that maybe she's jealous of that her daughter is so happy because her and her husband might not have the best relationship and she's not that happy. So I think she might be jealous of her sometimes in that aspect. So anger and frustration are the two big emotions that, they come right. I'm sure there's some underlying sadness and other things, but mainly frustration and anger.
It just sounds very frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you know what you're providing for your wife, but her mom can't see that.
Yeah.
I guess to summarize, when you're frustrated, what do you feel?
I feel my blood pressure go up. It's like sometimes you know, you want to just go and, I don't know, man. It's like I feel like I need one of those stress balls or something, you know, just to squeeze as tight as I can. So, you know, I you know, I never put my hands on anybody, but it's just like you want to, you know, in my mind, I'm like shaking her by her shoulders, like, why are you doing this, you know? So it's there's definitely some build up tension internally with me, you know, when this happens. So it's, you know, good to, I'll usually exercise or go for a run or something to kind of just get that stress out of my body, you know. So it's I know it's not good for my health to get that way, you know.
You know, I think that the exercise, you know, you found a way to manage your anger and frustration towards your mother-in-law.
Right, but if it's a Thanksgiving dinner and we're all together, it's not like I can just go for a run, you know, and everybody else is in my house and that sort of thing. So, you know, I can't always do that. And I really want to make this thing, the communication between her and I better, you know, because none of this is going to just go away. I mean, I'm not, her daughter and I aren't getting a divorce, you know, so she's going to be there.
She's part of your family. She's
exactly.
Part of the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know, so you mentioned that your frustration, you know, builds up, your blood boils, and you know, so I guess the way that I see it is that do you feel that you can manage your body language and communication enough to where you're using solid eye contact, you're talking confidently, but you're not talking aggressively to where you're yelling at her.
Yeah.
But you're asserting what you feel.
Yeah, I know that because of my size and how, you know, loud my voice is, I can appear angry when I'm not, you know, so I try to keep that in check, but it's definitely something I need to have in the back of my head when I'm talking to her, especially face to face, you know, because I'm sure the frustration I'm feeling shows on my face, you know.
I would, you know, definitely speak with more specific points when you talk to your mother-in-law, and you know, stay away from vagueness, anything that's broad, because then that just might confuse the interaction altogether. Be very clear with her, and as you do this, you'll see, you know, positive feelings in yourself and hopefully hers too. So that's the goal. So what you could do, what I suggest, is to go with I statements. So you want to focus on your feelings and what you believe, instead of demanding or blaming the other person. So I would say, oh, hey, I feel that maybe you're prying into a relationship too much, or I feel that you have some sort of sense of control that bothers me. So maybe you can give me an example of an I statement that you would say in order for us to.
I think I could say something like, I feel sad that we don't have a better relationship, and we should. And I kind of see what you mean, instead of just blaming her and saying you're doing this, you're doing that. But I definitely feel sad, because, you know, I think sadness is maybe a better thing to convey to her than anger, because she's kind of hot-headed, and I think anger will just make it worse. So I'll let her know I feel sad.
I think that if you do bring the sadness, and you know, you telling her that you feel sad, is that she'll, you know, see it from a more, you know, she'll hopefully think in a more maternal way, you know, as a try to understand from a mother's perspective, a more motherly feel, a more family-like feel, to understand that the frustration is from sadness. And so another thing that you could try too is summarizing, and that's when you're not going to focus on the hurtful details. You're going to speak of the problem in a much more broader sense. Think of the bigger picture, and you try to another helpful way to have a better relationship with your mother-in-law would definitely be to empathize with her as well. To take her perspective and for her to understand your perspective as well.
Okay.
So those are the three that I would recommend
Okay.
and try. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with some homework to try
Okay.
for next time when we meet. What I suggest you do is to identify your emotions of when you're about to go speak to your mother-in-law, and jot them down in the journal or record them or however you wish.
Okay.
Note the time of the day that you do it, and write a general summary of the problem
Okay.
in that interaction, how you felt inside, and how you handled it
Okay.
externally, and write down at least 2 to 3 points of your mother-in-law's perspective on what you tell her.
Okay.
And how you feel.
Okay.
Because that'll help us gauge of where we should continue next.
Okay.
So,
Sounds like a good plan.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you have any questions? Or
No, I don't think
any
so.
clarifications or?
No, I think I feel better having you have explained this to me, and it sounds like a good plan.
All right. Well, sounds good. I'm
Okay.
glad to hear that, and I'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you.